So it's March 4th, and we've got a few things to talk about. Today was supposed to be the day that Donald Trump was inaugurated 19th President of the United States. Didn't happen. No surprise. Good old Donnie Trump is down at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, stuffing his face full of McDonald's and maybe playing a round of golf and cheating on top of it. So this has got to piss off a bunch of rednecks and Trump fans. It's got to be embarrassing, too. I mean, in 3 years of watching the Q drops, I have yet to see one prediction come true. None of them. Every one of them has been fake and a lie. Now, most people of normal intelligence, like you and me, have known that it was a bunch of conspiracy theorist bullshit. But there's a faction of people that live by it. It's gospel from on high. So they're going to be embarrassed by what's happening today. And yes, they're going to be pissed off. But there's also been talk about the possibility of violence in and around March 4th near the U.S. Capitol. And I'll tell you this, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Mainly because these people are cowards. And as cowards, they rely on the element of surprise. And since everybody's talking about violence on the 4th at the U.S. Capitol, they aren't going to do that. Secondly, I don't think they're ever going to attack the U.S. Capitol. See, that's pretty well fortified. You got the fence, you got the National Guard, the police. They're not going to walk into that. They're going to get their ass kicked. And cowards don't do that. They don't fight people they can beat. If they can surprise you and beat you. See, that's the whole thing. Just because I don't think there's any violence going to happen March 4th, 5th, or 6th, doesn't mean we shouldn't be concerned and prepared. Because much like every other coward, they react to loss a little differently than most of us. They might throw a sucker punch or jump on your back when you're not looking. So my guess is that what will probably happen is that they will go someplace else. If they're going to attack, they'll try to attack someplace else that you wouldn't expect. And they're probably going to do it on a date we wouldn't consider, maybe a week out, 2 weeks out, a month out. That's how cowards work. They don't want an opponent that's comparable to them. They want the surprise, and they want the attack, and they want the win. But they're only going to take the win if they feel like there's no risk to them. So, while I don't think we have to worry about it around March 4th, I think we still should be concerned about potential violence from these people. So we need to be vigilant. We need to be prepared, and we need to be ready to act swiftly and decisively. These people need to be taken care of and put down. Otherwise, they will be hanging around our necks forever. The other thing I wanted to talk about is a federal grand jury returned an 8-count indictment against Rachel Powell. You're probably saying to yourself, who the hell is Rachel Powell? Well, I'll tell you who Rachel Powell is. If you remember on the Insurrection Day, she was the lady they called the Bullhorn lady or the pink hat lady. Yeah, she was running around the Capitol during the insurrection with a bullhorn, directing people, pointing things out, telling people where to go and what to do. Somehow she knew the intricacies of the U.S. Capitol. But how? She must work there. No, she doesn't. In fact, she's a mother of 8 from Pennsylvania. So clearly, someone told her. Somebody worked this out with her. But who? Well, I think there's a good chance we're going to find that out, mainly because a mother of 8 in Pennsylvania is not going to take a fall for the full insurrection. Somebody said, well, they'll probably pay her off. Really? How much is it worth to a mother to be away from their children for 20 years? I don't know if a payoff's going to work. How much does it cost for a woman to give up 20 years of her life? Yeah. She's going to talk. She's going to sing. And we're going to find out some things that may or may not be surprising to us, because we know that some of the people within Congress might very well have helped out in this situation. those people aren't too bright, so they probably never considered this possibility. So they got to be nervous. And it might explain why Josh Hawley is so interested when talking to the FBI about what are they looking at? How do they check this out? What's the sentence for that? Josh should be nervous because he was probably involved. Marjorie Taylor Greene should be nervous. Lauren Boebert should be nervous. It'll be interesting to see what they do when they finally break this woman. She's apparently out on bail. How, I don't know. But 8 counts from a federal court, that's some pretty serious shit. And the offenses, yeah, they don't just let those go. Then did you hear about the governors of Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama? They've decided to open up their state 100%. Let businesses go back to 100%. Rescind the mask mandate. I think Alabama didn't rescind that as yet. But the point is these people, even though we're getting close with this COVID situation, they decided, I'm going to make a political call and put people at risk. I don't care. And rescind the mask mandate and open everything up. Well, the problem is a governor can do what he likes. There's not much we can do about it. A constituency can allow him to do that, and that's their business. If they want to open it up for themselves and put themselves at risk, what can he do? But here's the thing. Here's what you need to understand. Those people travel. And I have a problem if they go to some of the responsible states after being in their irresponsible state. So this is what I would suggest. I would suggest that anybody who leaves those states and enters one of the more responsible states should be forced to do a 10-day quarantine before they're able to move around the state. That's the least we could ask. Because you see, these people may feel infringed upon by having to wear a mask, but I think the people in the responsible states might feel infringed upon by having to be near potentially COVID-infected bodies. Seems like a fair trade. You can do what you want, but stay in your own goddamn state. You want to come to my state, you're going into quarantine because we're trying to get rid of COVID. It's funny. People don't think ahead, and hopefully the responsible states will take that tact because it's really troublesome. If we're trying to beat this COVID thing and 3 or 4 or 5 states decide, yeah, we don't want to do that. That's counterproductive to the whole effort. Those 4 states affect the rest of the country unless they're restricted to their states. Thanks for tuning in. This is Rational Boomer.